Thanks to our friends at OB Pod for that intro video we've got for our coaches show this morning. It's my pleasure, Dale Dickerson, to be here with Coach Jason Russell for the OB coaches, our initial OB coaches show this morning. So, Coach Russell, how about giving a quick intro for our fans out there for your background?
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here, first of all. Excited to be part of this OB family and all this tradition we have here at OB football. And just kind of give you a little background on myself. I was originally born and raised in Blytheville, Arkansas, so not too far away. I attended University of Central Arkansas, played football there. Was lucky enough to have an opportunity to play with the Indianapolis Colts back in 2005. From there, I kind of bounced around the arena leagues and the CFL for the next 2 years, so I played 3 years of professional football. My last stop was in Oklahoma City, and my quarterback there was Stan Hill, who's Johnny Hill, Hall of Fame coach here in the state, his son, and he actually was looking for an offensive line coach. And so I thought, hey, let's try this out. I'm about done trying to get back to the NFL, and so I came and started coaching with Johnny, and met a Mississippi girl, and married a Mississippi girl, and so my wife Alicia, and we have 2 little girls, and so we kind of started our life there in Oxford. I coached at Oxford for 9 years. So we had some great teams. We won 3 straight North Half championships. Couldn't quite get that win in the state championship. And after the 2015 season, I went over to Lafayette. So right there in the same community, and started coaching at Lafayette. I was the offensive coordinator there. 2016, my first year there, we won the state championship. And so we had great teams after that. 2019, notably, we had 5A Mr. Football Randy Anderson that played for us on that offense. I've also been a powerlifting coach, strength and conditioning coach. I've won 4 straight state championships in weight training and powerlifting in the state. Was a 2016 MAC Coach of the Year in powerlifting as well. So anyway, take that back to February. I got hired here at Olive Branch. Really, really excited to be here. And kind of a neat thing about me is, like I said, I was born and raised in Blytheville, Arkansas, but as soon as I graduated high school, my mom actually moved here to the Olive Branch community, and she lives about 5 minutes down from the school. So Olive Branch has always kind of been a home base ever since I've been in college and all the way through. Even we bring the grandkids up here, hang out with the grandparents. So we've been coming back and forth to Olive Branch. So when this job came open, it was a no-brainer to go for it, and had an opportunity to be hired here. We're so excited. My kids are excited. They get to grow up right down the road from the grandparents, and they love going over there to their house and playing in the pool, and we can't hardly keep them out of it. So,
Well, good. Tell us a little bit about your coaching staff that you assembled this year.
You know what? I think we've got the finest coaching staff in the county. I really do. I think we may have the finest coaching staff in the state. I'm so proud of these guys and the group we have. Starting off on the offense, we've got Coach Jay Jones. He was actually the head coach and athletic director at Cleveland Central last year. Great coach. He's going to be our play caller and does a fantastic job, works with our quarterbacks. Then we've got Justin Jones, who was with the previous staff and has been here with Coach Turner and has done a phenomenal job coaching the offensive line. He's our co-offensive coordinator. He's going to work a lot with our run game. Then we've got Coach T.J. Moore. He was on staff last year with the University of Memphis. And then we've got Justin Riley, who literally can do about anything and is one of the sharpest guys that I know. And he can do so much. He coaches our running backs. And if you follow OB football, you know that we've been really, really good at running back for a long time, and he's been the guy that's kind of been coaching those guys. So excited that we were able to retain him on staff as well. On the defensive side, Coach Brandon Jackson is our defensive coordinator. Coach Jackson's resume speaks for itself. I mean, he 6-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion. As a high school player at Horn Lake, was the 5A Mr. Football. I mean, he's had so much success as a player.
Right.
And now getting into the coaching realm and just talk about immediate buy-in from players. I mean, they know that he's not only speaking from what he reads on in a book or on paper. He's speaking from actual experience, which is great to have. And then we've got Todd Gray, who's coaching our linebackers. Grew up in a coaching family. His dad's a coach. Those guys have just kind of grown up with it. It's almost second nature to those guys. And then we've got defensive line coach DeMarcus Helm, phenomenal defensive line coach. He's got 3 conference championships, played for the North Half a couple times. And DeMarcus actually is kind of neat. I actually coached him my first couple years of high school coaching back at Oxford, so I have a lot of connection with him. And you know, you look at our staff. You've got 2 guys that have had an opportunity to play in the NFL. You've got I've got 2 coaches that have coached at major Division I college football programs in T.J. Moore, and then Jay Jones, my offensive coordinator. He was a part of those Ole Miss teams that won back-to-back Cotton Bowls. You know, so he's on Houston Nutt's staff there. So you talk about some phenomenal experience on that group. You know, that's really hard to beat.
It sounds like an impressive staff you got. I know y'all played your first Jamboree the other night and got some game action. Tell us a little bit about how the Jamboree went.
Well, you know, I'm pretty excited about it. You know, of course, Jamborees, they don't let us play a whole game. It's just a half a game with the varsity, and then we had a 20-minute running clock for our junior varsity. We scored 28 points in a half of football, first of all, so you got to be pretty excited about the explosiveness of our offense. We run a spread style of offense, but we're not a finesse spread. We're a spread them out and run and be really physical running the football, but we also make you respect the entire width of the field and depth of the field. I think that's the hardest thing to have to do as a defensive guy, is to cover everything. So, you know, we did really good, but there's a lot that we need to improve on. You know, I felt like watching the film, it was probably better than in person, because one thing that I want to fix is our body language in between plays. I want to make sure that we're quicker getting to the line, get the call, you know, the process of them getting ready to go and run the next play. I want to be a little bit faster there, and that's something we can definitely address. We did some up-tempo stuff, and I thought that looked really good. We're going to add a couple more things and options in our up-tempo game, and I'm pretty excited about that. Defensively, I thought we played really, really exceptionally well, with the exception of 2 plays. We had 2 plays where they busted long runs on us. You know, they scored 17 points. 3 of those points was off of an interception that they returned back to their 35-yard line, I believe, and then we ended up holding them to a field goal, which is great, and they had a fantastic field goal kicker, so, you know, they got 3 points there. I was perfectly happy with what our defense did there. The 2 long runs, they did some wing tee stuff, and they put some misdirection at us. We bought the misdirection, got ourselves out of our gap, and, you know, they hit us up underneath. And, you know, that's something we're going to get fixed. We're going to get a whole lot better there, and we're going to just coach that up. And you take away those 2 plays, I don't think they get much more than 30 yards of offense on the entire night. So.
Well, that's good, because that's what the Jamborees are for, is to
right.
get those kids at first playoff experience on the field, and let the coaches see what they need to work on.
Certainly.
Tell us a little bit about your opening game. We got Memphis Trezevant coming up here this year.
That's right. We got Memphis Trezevant. You know, I'm excited about this game for a couple reasons. You know, obviously first game and really a quality opponent, and they've had great football teams over the years. The first thing you do is you flip on the tape and you see athleticism all over the field. You know, they can run, they can catch, they can throw, they can do a lot of things physical standpoint that's going to be really good and give us, you know, some difficulty, and we've got to be prepared for. But I'm excited about the opportunity. I'm excited about the opportunity to open the season at home. Something really neat that we're doing in conjunction with this opening game is we're honoring the 10-year anniversary of the 2011 state championship game. So what we're going to do is at halftime, we're going to honor that team. And so if anybody's watching this and you were part of that team, please come out and see us. What we're asking is that if you're a part of that team, to come and meet up before the game out there by the pavilion, and we'll get you guys together. And then at halftime, we're going to walk everybody out on the field and just make an announcement and, you know, talk about the 2011 state championship. So I'm really excited about that. Again, I think one of the greatest things that we have here at Olive Branch, we've got phenomenal tradition. We've been playing football for almost 100 years now. And of course, that 2011 team is a big part of our history, and I want to celebrate that first game.
Yeah, that was an exciting night in our history. I was sitting there on the sideline for that one, and that was we had a huge crowd that followed the Conquistadors down to Jackson, and it was awesome experience. If you were there, everybody, there's a lot of people I know that were there, and they actually were just, I mean, it was probably a thrill of a lifetime to watch that ball game the way it unfolded. So
Certainly, yeah, all the way down to the last kick, right?
last kick, yep. Let's talk a little bit about some of your players, standout players you want to keep an eye on this year for our fans.
Absolutely. We'll start on offense. We've got a quarterback, Braden Wright, who has not had a lot of experience on the field. Last year he played some wing, played some defense, but change of offense. Look for him to be a major standout player. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's a 4.4 guy, can absolutely fly, and he leads our offense and does a phenomenal job doing it. Keyshawn Sessom at receiver, a senior receiver, he's looked amazing. Caught a couple screen passes in the Jamboree and took them for about 15, 20 yards apiece. Played really hard, blocked well without the football, and then he got a touchdown in our goal line package. So he had a really, really good night, and look for him to be a standout performer out there at receiver. Running back, Traylon Oliver, our senior running back, he took one for about 70 yards the other night in the Jamboree. He's a 4.5 guy, so again, if he gets behind you, it's really hard for the defense to catch him. And I was really proud of him in the Jamboree of being patient and running the ball, getting 3 and 4 yards, and then as the game progresses, those 3 and 4 yard gains turn into 20 and 60 and 70 yard gains. And that's exactly what Coach Riley preached to him, and that's exactly what transpired in the game. And he ended up late in the game popping one and just putting it out of reach for them. So I'm really excited about him. And we've got 2 other running backs that can do it too now. We've got a junior and a sophomore. Junior in Jacoby Walls and Corey Williams is a sophomore that are coming right behind him, and they're going to add us some real depth to that position. So offensively, we've got weapons everywhere. On the offensive line, we've got 2 guys that just can absolutely maul the defenders, and our left tackle, Mason Holmes, and our left guard, Pat Bell. Those guys are just maulers. And we've got some new guys. We've got new starters at center, right guard, and right tackle. And but those 3 guys did a really good job in the Jamboree, and I'm excited about them as well. So, that's kind of where we are offensively. Defensively, we're breaking in 3 new linebackers, but I think we've got some real talent there at that linebacker position. Manny Lee right now is taking first-team reps at that middle linebacker, and he broke his face mask the other day in practice. He hit somebody so hard, and so you have that intimidating type presence there at middle linebacker. I'm excited about that. We've got a young sophomore in Jerry Wall he's a 4.60 guy that can fly, but he looks the part. He's 225 and can run that fast. So he can play the run, but he can also drop back in the pass protection. We're playing him at Sam linebacker, so sometimes he is a DB, sometimes he is a linebacker. So, and then we've got a good will linebacker as well. We're kind of rotating some guys, trying to find the right fit there. And right now at will, and defensive line-wise, we got Travis Boyce at defensive end. I can't run a sweep, and it's hard to run a power against him, and he's everywhere as a defensive lineman. I enjoy watching him. We've got Ratliff inside that does a good job. We've got Brevin Warren as a junior playing defensive end. He does a good job. In the back end, we've got a senior cornerback in Darren Wilson, who actually caught a long post on offense in the Jamboree. So he's playing a little offense too, but he's actually our starting corner and a really, really good player there. We've got 2 juniors at corner and at safety that actually started a lot of games for us last year as sophomores and kind of took their lumps and learned. But Eric Adams at the corner, and then Cam Hall at that safety. Yeah. And then we've also got at the other safety a guy I'm really excited about in Flip Sanders, and he's, in a lot of ways, he's the leader and the quarterback of our defense. Flip is, and he got his name because Coach, he said, well, why is your name Flip? He said, because I flip people. and so and Coach Jackson said, oh, okay, I'm not going to call you Flip till I see it. He said, first practice in pads last year, he said, first play, he came downhill, hit him right in the legs, flipped him. He said, okay, you're Flip. So he's an exciting player to watch. He's an aggressive safety and does a good job helping with the run game as well. So.
Great. Great. I think I heard you say that you got maybe a freshman kicker this year.
We do. We have a freshman kicker, and I tell you what, we were excited about the Jamboree, an opportunity to get him out there in front of fans and kick. We did extra point field goals live and everything else. We lined up and with returners and had the opportunity to get out there and kick in front of fans, and that a lot of times is a big part of it, getting there on that big stage. His first kick was good, but it wasn't as good as he could, and by the end of the night, he had gained 10 yards on his opening kickoffs or from his opening kickoff. So he, I think, the more and more comfortable he gets, the deeper those kicks are going to get, and there's so much upside in Austin, and his name's Austin Taylor, is the kicker.
Okay, good. Let's talk a little bit about our schedule this year. I know we've got maybe 3 or 4 games out of conference before our conference starts. You got
Absolutely.
anything you want to talk about our pre-conference schedule that you want to
Well,
mention in particular?
the great news is they're all close, so even the away games are close, and the one that a lot of people have circled is that week 3, that Starkville game. We've got Tresvant this week, and then we've got some other guys that are local, but I wanted to see, you look historically, year in and year out, Starkville is one of the top teams in the state, and I talked to Coach down there, and he said, hey, do y'all want to play? And I said, absolutely, because Olive Branch, our goal here is to win state championships and to compete for championships year in and year out. And if you do that, and if that's your goal, then you need to have a measuring stick before you actually get to your conference play. See where you are, see the things you need to correct, see the things you need to fix, and you want to have that big time challenge, and Starkville's going to be that. That's week 3. That's at home too. So.
Well, Starkville will bring back a lot of memories for our fans. That was the game, the Miracle on Blocker Street, that happened that game.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you had a chance to see that video or not, but
I haven't seen the video, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it.
It's an exciting play. It took forever to unfold, but it was a really exciting play and a big play in OB history. Let's talk a little bit about our conference schedule. I know we've got South Panola back in our conference this year.
Definitely. Well, the thing with our conference is there's no weeks off, and me coming from Lafayette and Oxford, that was always such a big game because of the proximity of the 2 schools. Well, now we literally have everybody within 30 to 40 minutes of us. We've got South Panola is the only team that's not in county with us.
Right.
So each week is going to have to be an excitement. We're going to have to be up. We're going to have to be ready to play each week that we walk out, out there on the field. Of course, South Panola, the history of that program. I think somebody said the other day they're ranked number 3 in the state. Going into the season, that's going to be a big time game for us and a tough game. But then you can't let your guard down against any of these county schools because it's a rivalry game every single week, and I think that's exciting. I think it's going to be exciting for the fans. I think it's going to be exciting for people that want to come out and watch and see exciting football week in and week out.
Well, that's great. I know that last week I was at the school and renewed my blue seats for my family, and encourage everybody else to go ahead and get a hold of the school, get up there and get your blue seats, those that have had them in the past. If you haven't had one in the past, I encourage you to come out and get a seat so you have a reserve seat. But we're asking everybody to come out and support. We got a new coach this year, kicking off a new era, and it's going to be quite a bit different than last year with the run-oriented game we had last year to go back into the spread with every play. There's no telling where it could end up.
Absolutely.
This year. So.
Well, I think you saw that the other night in the Jamboree. We scored from every part of the field. We scored from the 40 going in. We scored on a big post route. We were on our 30-yard line and have a 70-yard run. We've got screen passes. It's an exciting offense to watch, and I think it's tough for those defense coordinators to prepare for, honestly.
Okay. Well, I hope to see everybody out on the field Friday night. 7 o'clock, Tresvant versus the Olive Branch High School Conquistadors. See you then. Thank y'all for